Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From my drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT, Magnum, SiggyGunz never fail. What's up, NFL fans and Magnum Sport Network fans? My name is JT Magnum here along with SiggyGunz. Welcome to our mock draft special again. We are doing the picks 11 through 21 in this one, and we're going to start this off right away. And like we said before, though, we know they're going to be trades, but like we said, we're just going to go through it just straight up how the draft is already set, but we just, there's going to be trades, so we're just picking how we think, teams will pick given the picks that we have. So, all right, number 11, I'll start it off. The Vikings are on the clock, and here is where I think Amari Cooper gets picked up. I know he fell out of the, basically for me, he fell out of the top 10 just because of team needs on defense mostly, and team needs and the only wide receiver I had taken was Kevin White, and I think obviously teams thought he was better than Amari Cooper, although I think Amari Cooper is going to be the steal at number 11 for the Vikings. What do you think?
Well, I went wide receiver also for the Vikings, but here's where I have Kevin White falling to them instead. West Virginia wide receiver. I think you're right. Minnesota's definitely going to pick up wide receiver. I think just because Teddy Bridgewater needs some pieces, and to have a true number one instead of having some scrubs on the team would be a building block for success.
All right, that brings up number 12, and that's the Cleveland Browns. That's their first of 2 picks in this draft. And I have them going after a wide receiver as well, because obviously they lose Josh Gordon, and all their wide receivers seem to be all 5'6". So bring in Devontae Parker out of Louisville. He's another guy. He's 6'3", another tall wide receiver, a little over 200 pounds. And the Browns bring him in, and he adds a little bit of speed element as well, just like Josh Gordon brought. What do you think?
I also have Cleveland. That's another reason why I think Minnesota was going to go ahead and pick Kevin White there, or wide receiver, how you have Cooper. They know that Cleveland's going to be looking for one also, so Devontae Parker's who I also picked. So we have that one. It's the same pick there.
Yep. So it brings up number 13, the New Orleans Saints. This is also their first of 2 picks in the draft, and I have them picking Randy Gregory, falling all the way out of the top 10, basically out of the top 6. He could have been a top number 5 or number 6 pick, and I have him falling the defensive end out of Nebraska. Very talented, very good, just fell out because of some off-the-field problems. Who do you have the Saints picking?
Well, I have Gregory falling even further than you, so it's not going to be the same this time. So I have them picking, I'm probably going to butcher the name, La'el Collins, I believe
La'el Collins, yep.
From LSU. Yeah, I think New Orleans, obviously, they're going to know that school more. New Orleans needs a lot of needs, obviously, but I do think losing Jimmy Graham, they're going to need some offensive help in the line, and I think this is a good way to start, Collins.
Yeah, Breeze was getting sacked like crazy last year. For number 14, the Dolphins are on the clock, and I have them actually picking La'el Collins out of LSU. They need to shore up that offensive line, and I think he's the best offensive tackle in the draft. I know there's some people saying that Andrews Pete is, or maybe Brandon Scherf, the guard, the guy can play tackle as well, but I like La'el Collins. To me, he had the best combine in my opinion, and I think the Dolphins pick him to shore up that offensive line. Who do you think the Dolphins pick?
I think the Dolphins, they were going after some of these cornerbacks, free agency, and they missed out. They really want a cornerback, in my opinion. I think Kevin Johnson is going to be the guy out of Wake Forest. I usually think this is around the time where teams that want cornerbacks can go ahead and pick some of the best available at the time, and I think he's going to be one that the Dolphins are going to pick.
Yep, and next up are my 49ers. And this is what I think they're going to pick, even though I don't want them to pick him. I think it's going to be Eric Armstead, the defensive end / defensive tackle out of Oregon. He can play multiple positions on that line, but he's the classic 5 technique, 3-4 defensive lineman that the 49ers like. And I know they're going to end up picking him. They brought him in for multiple visits. It just seems like they really like him a lot. And he looks like he's going to be the heir apparent to Justin Smith. So,
Well, we know a lot of your defensive guys retired and stuff like that. I also have that pick for the 49ers at 15. It just makes sense. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they trade, up or down out of it, but we'll see.
Yeah, the only reason I see them trading up is for Leonard Williams. Other than that, they have no reason to trade up, to trade back, and you can still get a defensive lineman or defensive tackle. We'll see. But number 16, the Houston Texans are on the clock, and this is going to be the surprise pick. They just lost Andre Johnson, and this guy Brashad Perryman, out of the wide receiver from Central Florida, ran that 4.25 40, blew everybody out of the water with that 4.25 40. He's another guy that's like very, very tall, very, very just speedy, talented wide receiver. And I think with the loss of Andre Johnson, they need to pick up a wide receiver. Especially, they only have basically one right now on the team that's decent. So I look for them to pick him up.
You're right. They're going to pick a wide receiver, but I was going in with more of a surprise. I think it's going to be Dorial Green-Beckham out of Oklahoma. I have everybody was talking about him out of the combine also, and I think this is where they reach for him, just to shock everybody also. So we'll see which one is the surprise more. But I do think you're right. I think they're going to pick a receiver as well. Johnson is a huge loss.
Oh, yeah, big loss.
For sure.
So number 17, the San Diego Chargers. I actually think they're going to be one of the teams that trade up to the number 2 spot, but we'll see. But I have them selecting Andrews Pete, the offensive tackle out of Stanford, to help Phillip Rivers out. The poor guy, he seems like he's always under pressure, and he's always he still delivers great throws under pressure, but it just seems like he's always under pressure, getting sacked. So they need to shore up that offensive line to help Phillip Rivers out. Even though I think Phillip Rivers will be traded on draft day.
Now, yeah, that's the reason why I think this pick is not going to be anything to help him out, because I actually thought here's where Todd Gurley would be picked. But until the rumors started flying about them going after Mariota, I think now they're probably going to focus on cornerback. So I went cornerback. I went Marcus Peters out of Washington. I just think that most likely, I got a feeling this is probably the most solid trade. I really do think that he's going to be, Tennessee is going to be swapping picks this. So either way, I think at this point, Marcus Peters is probably going to be the pick at that spot.
And that brings up number 18, the Kansas City Chiefs. And I have them picking Brandon Scherff. I have him falling down to them at number 18, and I think they need him. Alex Smith just seems like he's another guy that's always getting sacked, and also they love that screen game and that run game. And what better than a mauler? Than a mauler at inside guard to be able to block for screen passes and also block for inside runs. So, and with Jamal Charles obviously running the ball there, it always helps to bring in more offensive linemen. I think that's where the Chiefs go. Where do you think they go?
I think the Chiefs are going to go on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, I think their offense was okay enough, and you're right about some of the pieces that they need there. But I went with Malcolm Brown. I just think it's a perfect spot to take him in this spot, or perfect time to take him in this spot. Out of Texas.
That brings up number 19, and that's the Cleveland Browns. And this is where I think there's going to be a little bit of a surprise, too. I have them actually taking, instead of Malcolm Brown, I have them taking Eddie Goldman, the defensive tackle out of FSU. I think he's another guy that people didn't really know that much about at the beginning, but they've started to realize who he was during the Combine. And Cleveland Browns are another team that needs to shore up that defensive line because it just seems like they give up a lot of rush yards. So they need that guy. They need a receiver in the first, and for the first pick, get a nice receiver. And I think they'd go with defensive tackle in their second pick. No quarterback this time.
No, I also have a defensive pick for them, but I went with Eric Kendricks out of UCLA, inside linebacker. I just think they have so many needs. I just think that this would be a good spot to try to take the best available at the spot.
That brings up the Eagles, number 20, Chip Kelly. Everybody thinks he's going to go offense here. I think he goes defense. I have him selecting Marcus Peters, the cornerback out of Washington. This guy is my favorite corner. This is the guy that I like. I would love to see him on the 49er uniform, although I don't think the 49ers will reach for him that fast. But he's one of those kind of like the Honey Badger type, like Tyrann Mathieu from the Cardinals. Good press, physical corner. He's always in your face. He stays with you. He can play on the inside slot, and he can pretty much play anywhere on the field. He's always seems to be in a play. Never really seems to get burnt, and I like his game. So I think the Eagles go up, especially with going against, some of the Odell Beckhams, the Deshaun Jacksons, the Des Bryant. They had a lot of people in that NFC East that can throw the ball, and they need a guy like Marcus Peters.
Well, they definitely need a guy like Marcus Peters. However, this is Chip Kelly talking about. This is somebody that's still working on the fifth string quarterback for the team. He's thinking offense. I think his philosophy is the offense would beat any good defense. And I think losing, what's his name, the wide receiver, he's going to want a wide receiver. And I think here's where they went with is it Rashad Perriman? Is that how you say it? Rashad Perriman. I think since he's the best available at that spot, I think also this is somebody out of UCF that nobody really pays attention to. He's a quick guy. I think this is somebody that actually would fit the scheme that Chip Kelly likes. Up tempo, doesn't get tired, etc.
And that brings up the Cincinnati Bengals at 21. I have them taking DJ Humphries, the guard from Florida, help protect that quarterback. I mean, Dalton was getting sacked, another one, getting sacked like crazy. And they need some guys in the offensive line to block for the run, too. It just seemed like they could never get that run game going sometimes for Cincinnati. It was very inconsistent. So bring in DJ Humphries and see what they can do. Who do you think they pick?
I actually think they need to go with the best available safety here. I think Landon Collins is going to be the pick. Cincinnati could really go either way, either side of the ball. I just think that it would be smart for them to pick the best available at that point.
Which that ends it. Actually, we'll pick up with 22 to 32 for the next episode. Guys, let us know what you guys think. Picks 11 through 21. Who do you think is going to be taken where? And who picks who. You don't have to give us trades or anything like that, but just give us who you think is going to take who, and we'll compare them as it goes on, all right, for the NFL draft. So for Fantasy Football Fiends, JT Magnum and SiggyGunz, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.